What's up, guys? I'm Johnny Wells. This is my business partner, Terry Omans.
And welcome to our first Fireside Chat. We're going to take these moments to sit in these really beautiful properties that we have the privilege of listing and tell you guys all about the area, the market, and of course, the property itself. We are at a beautiful brand new listing here at 144 Serene. Johnny, what are your favorite things about this house?
You know what they say about real estate, right? They're not making any more of it. This is the peninsula property at Mystic Shores. Where else are you going to get 6 acres of your own peninsula heading out to the waterfront?
Absolutely. I love the possibilities of like what you could do with this much land and having your own peninsula. How often do you see that? And beyond that, you're already set up for all the things you would want in a house like this, right? You got a 4-car garage, you got 5,300 square feet, tons of guest bedrooms. Really, it's the perfect property. If I was going to move to an area like this is how I would want it set up.
We got like a little golf course already set up here. I'm just picturing like a campsite with the family out here. It's dialed.
Absolutely. The neighborhood is really cool too. So we're in the Mystic Shores community here. From what I understand, they've got a pavilion for family reunions. They've got some pools and parks for the kids. I think there's a 150 plus acre nature reserve as part of this community too. So the community's really worked hard to do some things to really enjoy the land. Johnny, this is a $3 million house. Where do you think the market is for real estate right now from what we're seeing?
I mean, for what we're seeing, couldn't be a better time. We sold that property for $250,000 over asking just last week. We put 4 in a contract this last week as well. I mean, now's a great time to buy.
Great time to buy and still not a bad time to sell, right? From the numbers we're looking at, it's about 50-50 market right now, or as close as we can get to that in the real estate game. So there are both deals to be had on the buy and opportunities to get a good number for sellers. So we're at a really interesting inflection point going into the spring.
I think the most interesting thing we've seen is that the properties that are dialed like this one, these are the ones that move. These things fly off the shelf. The homes that are sitting, they have problems. They're not presented well. They're just not dialed. This home is ready to go. They have taken such great care of the home itself, the structure, the property. These ones move quickly.
Absolutely, yeah, and just the success we've had on properties like this really allude to that fact, right? If it's a good property, it will sell regardless of the market. If it's a good property at a right price, you're gonna move it, and that's why people hire people like us, right? Our job is to lead them to that point of here's the right price that it'll sell, we will present it, and we will actively go out and sell it for you. We're here on the north side of Canyon Lake, about halfway between Austin and San Antonio. Who do you think the type of buyer is for a property like this?
Wow, this is for anyone who could afford it, firstly. But no, I picture like someone with a badass trade business in San Antonio, right? They want to have their space. They don't mind a little drive in, and they can have everything that they've dreamed of at this price for this property.
Sure, if you look at what $3 million gets you, being halfway between the two cities, if you're in the city in Austin versus in the city in San Antonio, $3 million is certainly not gonna get you 6 acres in a peninsula with a 5,300 square foot house, right? So the dollar does travel a lot farther out here, and you have the benefit of being on Canyon Lake, which I come down here to Canyon Lake all the time for boating. This is probably one of the best lakes in Texas for boating. It's good for fishing. I think they've held the Bassmaster here a couple of times. So it's a really cool community, a lake community to be on as well.
Yeah, this buyer, they might come from San Antonio, they could come from Austin, really any of the metroplexes, Houston, Dallas, anyone would love to have a piece of property like this. So when you're making a real estate investment, it's really important to understand you have the land and the structure. The structure itself is actually a depreciating asset. The land is an appreciating asset. And so land like this, prime real estate, waterfront, that is a serious, legitimate asset. They're not making any more of it, right? So something like this, that is a safe place to put your money. It's an ideal place.
Absolutely. They say the land is key, right? And 6 acres in a peninsula is about as unique as you can get for a piece of property. When the lake is fully up, we're actually surrounded on all 3 sides by water on this property. So you're totaling several thousand feet of lakefront at that point. And where else in Texas besides on the ocean are you gonna get a property like that, right? And we're far enough north where you're not gonna be affected by the hurricanes. We're far enough south that you're not getting tornadoes. This area of Texas from between San Antonio and Austin going into the hill country, it's really one of my favorite areas I've ever been to. Johnny, why would someone hire us to sell a house like this?
So everybody knows we've been in a changing market. Things have changed quite a bit over these past couple of years, right? And the most important thing that anyone should look at when they're hiring an agent, whether it's on the buying or selling side, but especially for a property like this at this price point, you want to look at track record in this market. Are you going to hire a financial planner based off of their track record in 2020, right? When the market just shot up. Well, do the same thing for your real estate agent. We sold three properties last week, one $250,000 over asking, three that were multiple offers, right? So track record in this market literally right now.
Absolutely, yeah. We see how many times where someone has a significant track record if you go back 4 or 5 years, but you look in the last 6 months and a lot of agents are struggling and getting totally goose-egged, 0 transactions going into the end of the year. So we've been able to uniquely build traction in this market. We believe in old school sales, as we tell our clients, right? We're gonna get hard data, we're gonna hit the phones, and we're gonna proactively start selling these properties. We're gonna put them in front of people that have the money to buy it and the will to do so, right?
Willing, ready, and able, but the biggest point right there is actually selling a property, right? We've called it the 3 Ps of real estate. There are agents out there that they're just putting a sign in the yard and they're just waiting for the phone to ring. For us, we are going to proactively sell your property. We're going to get on the phone. We have lists. We know who to call. It's not just buyers, it's the agents as well. We have the data. We pay a lot of money for that data to know who it is that we need to call. And we have a process for getting them on the phone, soliciting their feedback, and getting them out to the property to bring their buyers here. And then one more further is a feedback process in which we now proactively sell the home in conversation with that agent, and that's what makes deals done.
Johnny, selling houses like this is expensive, right? Between the staging, the photo shoot, the video shoot we're doing right now, and the open houses and events we're going to hold, how much are we spending to get this property sold?
So we have about 3 to 4 listing appointments a week, and I tell every single person who we work with that we run a business, right? We have a budget, we know how often we're successful, and we know how much money we make, right? So because of that, we're not just spending a few $100s on photography, we're spending thousands of dollars on our listing. This one we're already in at least $12,000, right? Average listing is gonna be $300 to $7,500, and when we have a property like this, we invest in it because this is a multi-million-dollar asset. What other business deal would you not have a budget for to make sure that that business deal goes flawlessly, 1%, 2%, 3% of the deal itself? And so that's what we do. We make sure we're rowing in the same direction as our clients, and we take out our own pocketbooks and we put it up front because we know we'll be successful.
Absolutely. And speaking of which, we need to get that $20,000 back. So if you'd like to buy this house, give us a call.